Good morning. So we start the lecture for today. In the last lecture, we have seen the topic related to convolutional encoder. So from the past two lectures, we have learning the convolutional encoding methods. So started from the pictorial connections, then we have learned the polynomial representation of the convolutional code, and we have learned in the last lecture state diagram as well as the tree code diagram for doing the convolutional encoding. Today, this is the last method of encoding, and after that we will be see the decoding method. So this method name is trellis diagram. So this is very effective method, and most of the applications we prefer this method over the other methods. Even other methods are also valid, but this is preferred. So what is the trellis diagram? If you have to be see, trellis diagram is nothing but it is an extension of state diagram. Trellis diagram is nothing but a extension of the state diagram that shows the passage of time. In the state diagram, there is no facility to show the time or passage of time from one state to another state, but in the tree code diagram and as well as the trellis diagram, it could be able to, we can show the passage of time. The trellis diagram is drawn by lining up all the possible states. So in this case, number of possible states we have already know that. So this is equal to what? To the power capital K minus 1. So capital K is what? It is a constant length. So here, whatever the example we have taken, that is having the constant length 3. So to the power 3 minus 1 means to the power 2. So all possible states are, how many possible states are possible in our example? It is 4. So in the trellis diagram, we is drawn lining of all the possible states, that is 4 in the vertical axis, and thus we connect each state to the next state by the allowable code word for that state. And I want to ask you, all of you, please ready with your pen and notebook, otherwise you would not understand this topic. This is completely, you can say you have to be draw. There is a drawing also involved, there is a mathematics also involved in this particular process. So in the trellis diagram, a solid line indicates the output is generated by an input 0. So whenever the input would be 0, we would be indicated with the help of solid line, and a dashed line denotes the output is generated from the input bit 1. So trellis diagram is unique at each code and same as both the state and tree diagram are. So here also the change of the state is as similar as the state diagram or the tree diagram. So if you have to be see, this is the one of the basic form of the trellis diagram. If you have to see in the screen, we can draw the trellis diagram for as many periods as we want. Each period represents the possible transition. Okay, so this is one of the basic example. There is one of the section of this trellis diagram has shown here, and it is the trellis diagram for the code rate 1/2. So here k is equal to 1 and n is equal to 2. This is 1/2 code rate. So you can see, as per our discussion, there are the number of possible states are 4. So A, B, C, D as similar we have taken in the state diagram. A is 0, 0, B is 1, 0, C is 0, 1, and D is 1, 1 we have taken. And when always we have to be start from the 0, 0 states. So when you are at the position A means 0, 0, so at that moment if input is received, that is 0 bit, so it would be shown here the red line or the solid line here, and what is the output for that, that is also shown in this particular case. So when you are at the 0, 0 state and the input is 0 is coming, output would be also 0, 0, and you would be the next possible state is again a same state A. But when you are at the 0, 0 state and you are receiving the input as a 1, so the possible output is 1, 1, and you would be transferred to the next state, that is B. Okay. Similarly, for the we are at the B and you are receiving 0, you would be transferred to the C, and the possible output for this is 0, 0. Okay, sorry, 1, 0. And then you are receiving the 1, you would be entered to the next possible state D, and the possible output is 0, 1. So in this way, for each and every state, the possible combination has been shown here. And this is, you can see in the x-axis, the time instant is changing. Here it is start from a ti time, and it will be goes into the next state at the ti plus 1 time. Means for every next state, your time would be passes by the value of 1. Okay. So this is the fundamental structure of the trellis. On the basis of this fundamental structure, we would be draw the further trellis diagram. Okay. There is not only the 1 or 2 states, there are multiple timelines are there. We will be see further. So everyone please draw this basic diagram, because on the basis of this, we would be draw the rest of the part of the trellis diagram. Okay, this is the fundamental. So either you have to draw this or take the screenshot. But after taking the screenshot, you have to be also draw on your notebook. Otherwise, you would be not understood what is going on. Okay. Now, come to the next part. So you have to see the trellis diagram is preferred over the code tree. In the code tree, also the similar fashion we are doing the coding, but it is preferred over the code tree. Why? Because the number of nodes at any level of trellis does not continue to grow as number of incoming bit increases. In the tree diagram, if you remember, as the time is passes or as the number of incoming bits are increases, your branches would be growing and growing, and it is endless process. But in the case of trellis, it does not do so. Okay. So this is the one of the advantage of this trellis diagram. So it would be decrease your complexity. Then the number of nodes at any level remains constant as to the power k minus 1 in the case of trellis diagram. And here k is the constant length. And we have to always begin at 0, 0 state. This is common for tree diagram and trellis diagram. We have to always start from the 0, 0 state. And a trellis diagram would be consist of a contain n plus k levels, where L is the length of the incoming message sequence and k is the constant length. Okay. So you can see here, L is what? Length of the incoming message sequence. In our example, we have taken a message sequence is 1, 0, 1, 3 bit message. So for our example, it is L is equal to what? It is equal to 3. And constant length is also 3. So total number of levels are possible is 6. So we are in the other example there is a possibility of 6 levels. Okay. So now, and in the time domain, how you will be show it? It will be show like the t subscript L plus k minus 1, because we have to start from the t0 to t5. We have the 6 levels. We have t0 to t5. Or either you can also show T1 to T6. Now this is the trellis diagram of generalized Taylor's diagram for any code, any example you can take. And after this, we would be correlate this Taylor diagram with our example. That is 101, our message sequences. Now, you can see I have just extend the previous Taylor's diagram or Taylor's structure to a broader way. And as I have told you that number of possible levels are 6. You can see time domain is also from T1 to T6. Okay. Number of possible states are 4 to the power 2. And number of possible levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So now in this case, you can see always we have to be start with the 0, 0 state. That's why here we have started with this A. And there is only possibility of the 2 branch from the A, because there is a possibility of the 2 input, either 0 or binary 1. And after oblique we have written the output for this particular input of that state, corresponding state. Okay. So in this way, when you receive the 0, you would be remains on the same state. And when you receive 1, you would be enter into the B. That is 1, 0. B means 1, 0. A means 0, 0. C means 0, 1. That is already we have defined. D means 1, 1. Okay. So at T1 time instant, only a possibility of the 2 outcomes or 2 branches could be generated. That would be goes to the A to A and A to B. But when you have entered to the second time instant, at that time, as we have the 2 possible states, so obviously each state would be responsible for generating the 2 next states. So here also A would be generated same next 2 states, same outputs, because it would be common pattern is there always. But from the B you can see other 2 states are generated, that is C and D. So at time T3 you can see all the possible 4 states would be active. At time T1 only A is active, at time T2 only A and B 2 states are active, but at time T3 all possible 4 states are active. And these are the combinations that is obtained from the state diagram, or you can say that Taylor's structure that I have shown as before. So on the basis of that, you would be draw this diagram. That's why I am showing tell you that draw this Taylor's diagram or take the screenshot. Otherwise, you would be not understood what is going on in the next particular point. At time T4, at time T3, we say that only all the 4 states would be open. Now at time T4 also that 4 states would be remain. T5 again 4 states, T6 again 4 states. So this is the maximum number of states would be activated. Once it would be activated, it would be remaining. And this is the possible combinations always. So always from A it is possibility 2 input 0 and 1, it would be goes either A or B. From B it is always a possibility either it would be go to C or D. From C it is always a possibility that it would be goes either A or B. From D it is a possibility 2 state, either it would be go into the C or remains on the same D. That we have already seen in the state diagram. Okay. So if you would be refer the state diagram or lookup table that we have drawn for that. So on the reference of that, you can draw easily this Taylor's diagram. And you can see maybe it is looking little bit complex, but it is very simple to draw if you follow the pattern. When you are at the A, it is always you would be entered to the either A or B depending upon the input. Here the input is shown through the red line or the solid line, and our input 1 is shown on the dashed line or blue line. Okay. So it is fixed pattern. From A there is only possibility 2. Either you would be goes to the A or B. There is a fixed possibility of the output. If it is 0 input, so output would be 0, 0. If it is a input is 1, so output would be 1, 1. So this is a fixed pattern. Similarly, you are at the B, there is a fixed pattern that you have the output 1, 0 and 0, 1 depending upon the type of input, and you would be entered to the C and D. If you are at the C, there is a fix that you would be, if you receive a 0, output would be 1, 1 and you would be entered to the A state. If you have been at the C and you are receiving the input as a 1, So your output would be 0 0, and you would be entered to the B state. Okay, this is a fixed pattern here. Now, if you are at the D, again there is the two fixed patterns are there, two fixed branches are there. If you are receiving 0, output would be 0 1. You would be entered to the C. If you at the D and you are receiving the input as a 1, the output would be 1 0, and you would be on the same state. So these are the some fixed structures are there. If you have to be C, so you can take the screenshot, or you can draw this diagram. It is very simple. Only the fixed pattern you have to be increased as the time advances. You have to be increases the branches. Okay. Up to this point, it is clear. Okay. Now, on the basis of this reference diagram, we would be draw this trellis diagram according to our input. So what was our input sequence? 1 0 1 message sequence, and two flush bits are added at the end of the message, that is 0 0. So 1 0 1 0 0. So in the next point we would be see this. So what is our input? If you have to be see 1 0 1, and two tail bits or flush bits are there. Okay. So in this case, you can start from the 0 0 always. You have to always start from the A, B, C, and D. At a T1 time, you would be at the 0 0 state. Two possibilities, 0 and 1. Okay. So you would be again enter to the two states, either A or B, depending upon your input. Again, we know that we have received the input as a 1, so you would be follow this path. As we know that the input is 1 for our message sequence, so we would be follow this path. Okay, and this is the input is 1, so output is 1 1. That is mentioned here. Output is 1 1. Then again there is a two possibility as we have now at the time T2. So you are at the A and B. From A there is a two possibilities, and from B again the two possibilities. So by seeing the input, we have the at the 0. So from B you would be goes now to the 0 state. That means you have to follow this line, but you have to be show all these four possibilities. And output is 1 0. That's why 1 0 is shown here. Now you would be at the time T3. You would be now activated all four possible states. Okay. Now you have to be here now. So you have received input 1. You have to be always show the all possible combinations, and you have the input 1. So from C, when you have receiving the input 1, you have to follow this blue line, and you have to be reach to this B state, and output is 0 0. Okay. Now at this time instant T4, you have the first flush bit 0. So from B, I have not shown next as a 1. I have not shown the possible combination when you would be having the input 1, because flush bits are always 0. So that's why further T4 at the T5 and T6 I will only show the possible combinations of all four states when you have only the input 0. So from B, when the input is 0, you would be again enter into the state C, and output is 1 0. That is shown here. But at the last end, the second flush bit at the time instant T5, we are at the C. So only possibility of that you would be either at A or C. So from C again the 0 would become, so you would be follow this part, and output would be 1 1. Okay, output would be 1 1. So that is shown here, 1 1. And again you have to be end at C. And this is the beauty of the trellis diagram. You have started from which particular state? you would be also end your diagram at the same state. This is the one of the beauty of the trellis diagram. So in this way, we have to be moved to the from one state to the another state for all possible input sequence. So this is the final tracing. If you have to see, this is the final tracing as per our message sequence 10100. So this is the ultimate last diagram that you have to be draw for the encoding. You have to be start from this particular structure but end with this. Both diagram is important to show for the encoding. Okay. So it is your output. You can see for first bit is 1, 1, 1 is the output, then 0, 1, 0 is the output, where 1, 0, 0 is the output. And this is the possible combination of states. From A you would be entered to the B, B to C, C to again B, again C, and again last you would be end at the same state where you have started the journey. Okay. I hope all of you have cleared the concept, how this is, what is the way to draw the trellis diagram. Share your views. Is it okay? Is it okay for all of you? Okay, so no responses from your side. All of you are present or not? Megha, Megha Andale. Sagar,
Sir.
are you understood this trellis diagram concept?
Yes, sir.
And note down all the steps that I have taught you, or either take the photograph and then further you have to, after lecture you have to draw, but you have to be draw. If you not use your pen and notebook, then it would be not able to learn this particular topic. This is, you can see, this is particular completely there is a mathematics and drawing is involved. Okay, now we have to be
Yes,
moved to
sir.
the next. Okay, now we have to move to the next point. It is not difficult, it is simple, but you have to be need a practice. Now we have to be see the next point, that is Viterbi algorithm. So there is a till date what we have seen the only the encoding method. Now we have to be entered to the decoding method of a decoding of the convolution coding. So there is a various different approaches to the decoding of the convolutional codes, like a sequencing decoding, where we have to follow the Fano algorithm. Another one is the maximum likelihood decoding method, and that we have to follow the Viterbi algorithm. So the maximum likelihood decoding methods are preferred in the industry also, or in the literature also, as compared to the sequential decoding. So we have to learn here maximum likelihood decoding method, that is the Viterbi. So we have to see a little bit the concept regarding the Viterbi algorithm. So Viterbi decoding algorithm was discovered and analyzed by Viterbi in 1967. So it has been discovered and analyzed by the researcher that is named as the Viterbi in 1967. So Viterbi algorithm essentially performs the maximum likelihood decoding. However, it reduces the computational load by taking the advantage of a special structure in the code trellis. So in this particular algorithm, it performs the maximum likelihood decoding method, okay, and it reduces the computational load by taking the advantage of the spatial structure of the telescope. So in the telescope, we have seen that as the number of input bit increases, it does not increase the number of labels as in the code tree. So this is one of the advantage. And Viterbi decoder examines entire received sequence of a given length, and the algorithm operates by computing a metric. This is very important point. It would be operates by computing a metric for every possible path in the trellis diagram and makes a decision based on this metric. So what about the metric? How they are to be calculated the metric? So the metric for a particular path is defined. Now this is the definition of metric. You have to know this. The metric for a particular path is defined as the Hamming distance between the code. Hamming distance between the coded sequence represented by that path and received sequence. Okay. So the metric for a particular path is defined as the Hamming distance between the coded sequence represented by the path and the received sequence. So in the trellis diagram, we have seen that whatever the coded sequence that is shown as a transmitted sequence. But when you have to come to the decoding section, so whatever the received sequence, it may be not matched with the coded sequence. The coded sequence always shown on the branch. Okay, and we have to just compare this coded sequence with the received sequence. And for that we have to use that Hamming distance. And on the basis of this matching and Hamming distance principle, we would be calculated its metric. Okay. So the Viterbi algorithm performs the maximum likelihood decoding. So how this metric would be calculated, we have to also see. So in this way, for each node or each state, node means state, A, B, C, D, whatever. So for each node or each state in the trellis of the algorithm compares two entering paths, because we know that from each state there is a possibility of the two output branches, or also each node would be able to receive two input, either 0 or 1. Okay. So the path which the lower metric is retained and the other path is discarded. So whatever the path, from suppose you are at the B state, so there is a possibility that either you have to be entered the B or A or C. So whichever out of these two branch or two paths, which path having the lower metric, means lower Hamming distance, that would be retained for the further time instant, and rest of the path would be discarded. So it finds a path through the trellis with largest metric. It finds a path through the trellis with the largest metric or minimum distance. So obviously the path having the minimum value of the minimum distance or the lower metric, it would be follow the largest path. Here the lower metric is the value, okay, and largest is the distance covered by this. So lower metric would be follow the largest path. So at each step in the trellis, it compares the metric of all paths entering each state and keep only the path with the smallest metric, that is called the survivor, or survivor, that is we also call it the survivor path. In this way, decoding has been performed. So for our example, we are dealing with the convolutional code of constant length k is equal to 3. So number of possible survivor path is only 4 to the power k minus 1, and their metric will be ever be stored, and this relatively small list of paths is always guaranteed to contain the maximum likelihood choice. So our difficulty that may arises in the application of the Viterbi algorithm is the possibility that when the path entering a state are compared, their metrics are found to be identical. This is the difficulty actually in this particular Viterbi algorithm, that when the path entering a state are compared with their metrics, and sometimes it happens that two nodes having the same value of the matrix. So this is the one of the difficulty. So in such a situation, we make a choice which particular path we have to be followed, and this is the making a choice is just like a flipping a fair coin, just like a toss, because both is having the same having the same value of the matrix, so you can't decide that which is true and which is wrong. So at that time you have to be take a guess, like a flipping a coin. So in this, if you have to see in a summary, Viterbi algorithm is a maximum likelihood decoder, which is optimum for wide Gaussian noise channel, and for L bit message sequence, that is having, we have the L equal to 3-bit message sequence. The encoder have the memory of M is equal to K minus 1 means 2. So for our example, 3-bit message sequence, memory is 2. Algorithm proceeds as follows. Encoder is initially start at all 0 states, means A at 0. So there is a 3-step of maximum likelihood decoding. First is starting at a level, that is time unit, J is equal to M. Compute the metric for the single part, that is equal to the entering each state of the encoder. Store the path or survivor path and its metric for each state. First step is this. Second, increment the level J by 1 for every time instant and compute the metric for all paths entering each state by adding the metric of the incoming branches of metric of connecting survivor from the previous time unit, and for each state identify the path with the lowest metric as the survivor of step 2 and store the survivor in its metric. And if this process will be continued till in the step 3 it is mentioned, if level J is less than L plus M, means L plus capital K minus 1, that is here 3 plus 2 5, repeat step 2, otherwise stop. So we have to be up to go for the 5 levels if we would be achieve our target, and then we have to stop, otherwise we have to repeat the step 2. So this is the example. We have taken a hard decision. There are 2 decisions, hard decisions, soft decisions. So for our example, this is the trellis diagram. We have started from the T1 and goes up to the T6, and we have started from the all 0 state, J is equal to 0, and we have the message is available for us 101 and 2 plus bits are added, means 10100, and for that there is a corresponding code word that is transmitted over the channel, and this is the received code word. This is the received code word, and this is the U is transmitted and Z is received. So this is actual code word. Transmitted code word means actual code word, and maybe received and actual could be different. You can see here, this is the difference here, third position. Here 0 0, here the 1 1. Then again in this position, fifth position, again there is a difference. So this is the noise actually. This would be change the actual sequence. So first of all, you have to be draw this trellis diagram. Then we have to be move for the further description. So I am opening here the chat box. So enter your attendance. It would be take lots of the time actually. We have to be label out. You can see this is the, in this particular slide we have mentioned the Hamming distance between the two successive nodes or the state. So how this has been be written, I would be teach you in the next lecture, because we have very less time. Actually, it would be not sufficient time for us to discuss the decoding. So I just show you the overview. You can just take it the screenshot and draw it. I am showing all the slides that I am going to take in the next lecture. So just take the screenshot for today and draw it on your notebook. And in the next lecture, I would teach how actually this diagram has been drawn. Because in the online mode, it is very difficult to go into the real time in to draw this kind of the decoding method. So this is the one of the, you have to take this screenshot. Then another one is next, starting from the I is equal to 0, then 2, 3, 4. This is the diagram. This is another screenshot. You have to take it out. I hope you have taken this screenshot. And the last one is this. This is the tracing of the best metric path or maximum likelihood decision. And from reverse tracing from right hand side to the left hand side, we have to find out the corrected code word. Whatever the noise is added in the received code word doesn't matter. We have to receive the corrected code word. Okay. So just take the screenshot of this. Now there is hardly 2 minutes are remaining. Anyone want to ask any questions? Please ask.